Well, I was in I've been in a band since I was like as soon as I got into high school,
Oh, okay.
before I even turned 14, so October. And I used to sing, I used to do ventriloquist act, and I knew that was going to happen, but hold on. Tomas, I can't talk to you now. Sorry. I was trying to put it on Do Not Disturb, and the whole thing froze.
Oh.
So anyway, so I got into that. I was already doing stuff on stage. I sang with a girlfriend. She and I learned to play guitar together. Then she kind of quit, and I kept playing. And so I was kind of like a little performer. My parents took me to gigs. I was in a talent troupe of young kids and tap dancers and accordion players. And anyway, so she and I were in a music store. I know this sounds long-winded, but we were in a music store, and I was really into this song, Tambourine Man. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man. That song.
Yeah.
So she was holding the sheet music for me while I was, basically just stealing the chords off the thing so I wouldn't have to buy the sheet music. So some guy that was in the store, this is after school, said, hey, you want to be in our band? So my parents drove me to the rehearsal that night, and that's how I got in that band. Then that band, over the course of all of high school, were together. And I think I went off after graduation into one other band. It was really, really great band. And then came back to that band. We were playing, and some people came up to me and asked me if I wanted to do something. So for a while, we had a couple of the guys from the bass player and the Scott and Craig Owens brothers were in the before the LA Jets formed. Were in that band as we were writing tunes and stuff like that. Harlan McNeese was in that, and anyway, and then we hooked up with. That just kept changing people over the course of about 6 months or whatever. And then it was formed. And we were signed to a production company. Our manager, Christine Desatel, the sister of the drummer, John Desatel.
Yep.
Very good negotiator. And she got us signed to a production company out in New York. And they in turn got us signed through them, sort of like with their rubber stamp, like this is going to be great, I guarantee it. And that's how we got signed to RCA.
So did you guys how long did it take before you became a part of the Star is Born movie?
That happened so fast. We did the album in Record Plant, Sausalito. Not there anymore. There's a studio there, but I haven't been inside. But there's something there. Next time I go, I'll get inside there. But that was such a bitchin' studio. Oh yeah, Fleetwood Mac was making their big album in the next door studio. Well, we did that album.
Wow.
And they were fighting. Lindsay. I'm gonna say the wrong Lindsay. Stevie and Lindsay.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say something else. Anyway, they were fighting, and everybody was fighting. And this was two studios next to each other, hallway, kitchen, and all the other stuff. And we were not allowed to go out of our studio while they were in the whole, plant.
Yeah.
And we weren't allowed to go out there. We weren't allowed to go in the kitchen, just like fighting, So anyway, that was kind of funny. So that album was done in, I think it was finished. It was a spring release. Spring, new bands often, come out in the spring. So that was like that was the first concert, kind of the first gig. I think we played as a band here and there. Honestly, it was a band that was assembled. And honestly, I just can't remember if we played much as a band before that concert, outside of being in the studio and the rehearsals that went into getting signed. It took about a year to get signed, and then we went in the studio, that kind of thing. So that was, I think that concert was, what's the date on that concert? Summer, right?
Yeah.
I think it's summer. That was the first concert that band played. And that was my first concert ever. And it was put on by, Oh, come on. The name just went away. Oh, the biggest name. Bob. Oh, I'll think of it another time. He was like one of the biggest promoters. And Bill Graham, thank you. Yeah, Bill Graham. And he was so nice to me. I mean, just so kind, just, I know he could tell, or I think he knew that we had never even done that. And we were to go on at 7:30 sharp. And he's just sitting there like holding me like this, like not yet, watching the thing. Oh, and it was just for his, timeliness. It wasn't like ours was going to have any footage taken. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But he's like, okay, ready, go. And we went on at 7:30 sharp to this, just a sea of people all over totally filling up the stands, totally filling the floor of the arena, Sun Devil Stadium. It was fantastic. Sun's up, hot, already, oh, it was absolutely an incredible experience. That, just seeing the audience. And from then on, we played big concerts all the time. 18,000, 20,000, that was great. I have some really fun pictures somebody took looking down at the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Bring one up here. Oh, I forgot that picture. I could have gone, oh. It's probably on the Facebook page, but yeah, that was good experience.
So did you meet Barbara like after you guys did the concert?
Yes, she was very graciously, talked to me to pose for a photo op.
Yeah.
So she asked me, she'd ask me questions like, I knew she didn't really want to know.
Yeah.
She was just trying to think of things to ask me so we could stand there and they could take pictures, But I guess the fun thing that came out of it was she asked about how to look like she was comfortable on that stage and being a big rock singer.
Right.
And so the only thing I thought of was, there are different things that came out in press over the course of all these years. Karen Lawrence teaches Barbra Streisand to sing and stupid things like that.
Yeah.
But she just asked that question and I just told her a couple of things. Well, you want to tromp across the stage and you want to, throw your hand up, or you want to hold your mic like this. And I just told her a few tangible things. And anyway, somebody said she did it. I don't know. I can't remember. I think I've seen that movie one time. It's hard for me to watch. It's hard for me to watch movies about rock and roll.
Why do you think that is?
Fake movies. Did I say that? Movies that are contrived, not like watching the Rolling Stones in South America, Argentina. No, that's great. But movies where, somebody's not, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's sort of contrived. So it's like watching episodes of I Love Lucy, it's just it's so embarrassing. I can't watch. Turn it off. Yeah, I don't know.
So why was it that your version of Prisoner wasn't going to be a single back then?
Well, we went in, LA Jets went in to Bearsville in New York, and we were working on the second album, and that song was part of it. And there were a few other tunes. Actually, I think we were almost done with the album. We even did Don Kirshner, by the way.
Oh,
I have the Don Kirshner footage, but I'm not allowed to distribute it because it's got the running numbers.
That sucks.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it does. It really does, because it's incredible. I didn't even remember that the songs that were on there.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that this one song that I don't know, I didn't know when I wrote it. I tried to rewrite it several times, and apparently it was written for that album. That's what I found out. And that was pretty fun. But we even did that, and I believe that was in like March or something. And we had gone in the studio in fall.
Okay.
And we were in the studio upstate New York through the winter. I remember because I was jogging in snow, and it was really cold, just kind of horrible. But a great experience. But I guess we just fell out of favor. They just got sick of us. We were isolated. So I don't think it was anything we did. I just think between the record company and the production company, things happened that we didn't have anything to do with. And last thing I remember was getting called into RCA. We thought they were going to sign us. But, oh my God, this is great. I got all dolled up, looking as good as I could, maybe bought something to wear. And we get in there with the manager and the manager's brother, our drummer, John Dissatel. So we're in there with Christine, John, and me. And they take us into the meeting room, have a seat. You're sitting there waiting for this. Bunch of men came in and they said, well, first of all, we'd like to know what happened to the money. And we just my whole core inside just froze like ice. Like what? Like your mother saying, did you steal this? Yes, I did. I stole the tanning lotion from the store. It was horrible. And of course we didn't know. We weren't in charge of the money. So that's why that album was never released. The song was only released with a non-releasable single. It said not for sale, and it was just forgotten about as well as we were till we got our next deal.
Well, it seemed like the LA Jets album was promoted decently well, because I know that you were in Cream magazine and stuff.
Yeah, you do, huh? Oh, trying to forget that one. 6 a.m. starting to click the things. 6 a.m. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, I was young, so you could probably look pretty good all the time, but we partied pretty well back in those days. I wasn't very disciplined. I think my face is little, But anyway, they did promote it. They promoted us a lot. We played for 3 months straight. I'm trying to remember who we opened for. We played in, we were just about, I think we were starting to, I don't think we were headlining. I think that was 1994. We just played every night. We were gone for 3 months. Yeah. I had no furniture in my apartment. I had no dresser. I put my clothes in a piano box. Oh. Box that my big piano came in, like a Roland, electric piano. Yeah. That's what my dresser was. My coffee table was a hideous suitcase that was almost the size of a trunk. There was no reason to have furniture. I think I had a bed. Yeah. We were just gone. We never came home. We left for 3 months. Yeah. So that means they were promoting us. Tons of radio. I just did radio all day long. That's what I did. Radio interviews all day long. Phone, in person, stuff like, hi, this is Karen Lawrence from LA Jets, and you're listening to KFFI. Rock on! Yeah, all the time, every day. I didn't really get to mess around. I was pretty disciplined. Get up in the morning, go run, come back, change, shower, change, and go until it was time to go on. Did that for about 20 years. Yeah.
So if you guys recorded the first album in New York, did you encounter Meatloaf at all?
Actually, we did the second album in New York, but I'm trying to remember. I don't think we were ever on the bill with them that I can recall. I don't recall that. I know we were on with, I was just saying this the other day. It was like Heart, LA Jets, Heart, Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
And is it Ronnie Montrose? Oh, somebody like that. I was just trying to recall the four names. Four people on a bill. Nice theater, though.
Did
You
you,
know,
since there's kind of a similarity in your vocals and Ann Wilson's, did you guys interact at all when you played with them?
no,
Okay.
no. I don't see the similarities, seeing as how I'm an alto and she's a soprano.
Mm.
But it's probably just the genre, the
Yeah.
kind of a little bit poppy rock or rock with pop overtones kind of
Right.
thing. Yeah. Melodic.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And isn't 1994 essentially the same band?
Yeah, kind of. Well, the same drummer, me. And so when LA Jets ended, John and I were hooked up.
Oh,
Christine, the manager, and I moved back, went back to New York, we're from wherever we were when we got kind of dropped, and just pounded the pavement. Started writing, you know, of course, we're writing new songs. And basically, we just got our deal without a band yet.
oh,
We had John playing drums, me, you know, we're writing, and we presented our stuff to Jack Douglas at that time.
yeah.
Sing right in his face. This is what I used to do. I used to go in with my guitar, my acoustic guitar, and go stand like right in their face and sing the songs right in their face. I mean, I can't believe it. Like within 5 feet of them. It was pretty weird. It took a lot of guts, I think, when I look back at it now. That's why I'm so good at it. Singing right in front of somebody's face.
So are the stories totally different between recording both albums for 1994?
Yeah, the one we did at Record Plant, the first one we did with Jack, Record Plant, right? And we went and redid rehearsals and songwriting in Florida. That was kind of interesting. And then we came back and, well, the tour was great, by the way. The 1994 tour was incredible, you know, opening for Aerosmith and Cheap Trick and these big Texas jams where, you know, AC/DC and Nugent. And, I mean, the hotel was just a crazy, just a nutty party, you know, people running around in pajamas and, you know, some pretty crazy stuff going on. But the tour, basically, again, same kind of thing, just total discipline for me. And I think that we had a tour bus on that tour. So that was different. But then after we got ready for recording, we went to New York. Well, where were we? Please stand by. Oh, no. Second album, we went to California.
Okay, yeah.
And we did it at the record plant there. And Jack was busy. So he handed it off to Eddie Leonetti, one of his best friends in high school. He used to be in a band with. Jack, I think Eddie played guitar and Jack had been the bass player back in their day.
Oh.
Anyway, so we're recording at Record Plant again in LA. And that was really different, really nutty. Just, we worked like a lot of people do. You know, you start at midnight and go, and that's just because we had lockout. We could have started anytime. It's just, that's how it just ended up being that. And it was a hysterical time. Me and Eddie got along so well. We just like made each other laugh like crazy. We're just having so much fun in there. And then at the end of it, oh yeah, and we used to sit in there and I would just sing as per usual. I'd be doing my bit, right?
Yep.
And everybody in the studio is having such a good time because, you know, all the music's done, basically. I'm just singing my stuff and doing the endings and all, you know, ad-libbing and catching the choruses again or whatever. Everybody's having such a good time, they just want me to keep doing it. So it's just like I'm just doing vocals for 6 hours, drinking champagne and smoking like crazy, which I don't smoke now. Thank God I was able to quit. But we were just having a hysterical time. But my voice was trashed, really
Oh,
was.
yeah.
And I even went to this. I went to this doctor in Beverly Hills, like Beverly Hills voice doctor to the stars, like White Snake and Stevie Nicks doctor and all this.
Oh,
And the guy, yeah, it was a pretty big deal. And he came back and he just looked at my throat and he goes, "You've been smoking?" And it was like I was busted, like, only for about 6 months,
mm,
which was not true. It was the entire time, which was 9 months.
yeah.
And like, I mean, I'm like, when I'm smoking, I'm like, light me up. I mean, I play with it. I have cigarette holders.
Yeah.
I act like I'm a spy, and I just goof off with it all the time. And it was very enjoyable to me, the action of smoking. So I smoked a lot, like many, many packs a day. Anyway, so I lied and said, well, only for 6 months, right? And he said, well, your vocal cords look like they've been barbecued. And I just went, oh my God. And he went out of the room and he came back and just prescribed rest. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
So that was horrible. And I quit right there. Anyway, but Jack came back and he wanted to do this new thing. He wanted to do a couple of tunes, or the one I remember, one off the second 1994 album, Our Time Will Come, which was like my major anthem to my dad.
Oh,
And to everything. But a real favorite tune of mine, he wanted to redo that
digitally.
and in digital.
Yeah.
It was the new thing. And in fact, the crazy thing is, I don't know if this is not very interesting, but it was really interesting to me that when I did the original vocal to Our Time Will Come, we were having, me and Eddie and the engineer were having so much fun doing stuff like, Our time will come. I know another, from different tracks.
Yeah.
We're just piecing it all together and, really kind of overkill, really. But that thing was a Frankenstein vocal. And I loved it. I loved that vocal.
Yeah.
So when I went in with Jack, I just imitated the vocal. I just did it like an imitation of all the edits and all the punch in and outs. I just did it. I think I got that song in like 3 passes, but my vocal was like, I mean, it was my own vocal was like a concentrated, strange sound. It didn't have the quality that the original had. So that's one of the things I remember about that.
What about the songs that were the bonus tracks on the second CD?
Oh yeah, I can't remember what was on there. I didn't bring that one with me. Do you remember what songs they were?
Yeah, it's Back in Your Arms Again.
Oh yeah, really? That wasn't on the original?
No.
Really? I'm stunned because that was really a bouncy song, and that's the I believe that most of the guitar work on that song is the bass player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a real good guitar player.
And it was a cover of You Better Run.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a weird story, man. We're doing You Better Run. I didn't know the song. I mean, I'm the one who doesn't know that song, I guess. And I don't know what we did to it. I think we changed the melody and stuff. I really don't remember, except I think that somebody was putting the melody almost like a harmony. I don't know, but I remember that one of the A&R guys from Chrysalis Records heard our track while we were doing it.
Yeah.
I knew him from New York. I'm not naming names. He had seen us. We had, auditioned, done a showcase for him when we first started out in 1994 in New York. Yep. So he knew of us, and I'd see him from time to time at concerts and, say hello, etc. Yeah, he even put a peanut down my blouse. Yeah, charming. Yeah, he knew me. Okay. Anyway, so he was at our session when we were doing that song, and not in the biblical sense, just enough to throw a peanut down my blouse.
Yeah.
Considered bad manners, period. Anyway, so then I guess Pat Benatar did that tune.
Right.
And we all thought, oh, It's a good thing we didn't put it on our record, because that would have been horrible. Her version and our version at the same time. It would have been about the same time, I think, or
Right.
just before. Anyway, no competition there, of course. She had quite a mighty machine behind her, and all the fixings. But yeah, that was weird. Yeah, You Better Run. That's what that happened. We recorded Back in Your Arms and that tune, and they just didn't use them.
Well, there
And
was.
they were mad again. They were mad too because A&M was mad because that album cost a lot of money.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
too much messing around. I think it got away from one of the guys at the record company. It got kind of involved where a person at the record company would come in, you're in trouble
Mhm.
when they come in and say, the foot pedal part on that song, I just don't hear it. I'd like to hear something else. Can we try something else?
Yeah.
Like, foot pedal? You're talking about the foot pedal? Oh, come on. Come on. We're never going to get this done. Too many cooks, too many chiefs. And that was really distracting. And so we were kind of getting in trouble. That whole record took too long, too much money.
My favorite bonus track on that is the Get It Up, Get It Right.
Oh, did we put that on? I'm so glad. Me too. I love that song. I thought that was really good. Well, I did that later. I did
Oh.
that on another group, in the Pins group. We used to
Really?
do that. Yeah, I really like that tune. So that went on the 1994 album.
It was a bonus track on the CD
On the
release.
Pins. Was it on the Pins?
No, Please Stand By.
Oh, the reissue of the second album. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Honestly, in case you asked me questions, I brought these upstairs.
Oh,
So I
good.
could refer to them, but I didn't bring that one. I brought this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that one up. Unless I look, I can't quite remember.
So I wanted to go back to like touring stories, memories that you have from 1994. Your secret.
Just a lot of good stuff. Fun. Again, I'm the one that has to do all the PR. The guys cannot go into any kind of live mic situation at all. They are not to be trusted. They're frisky. They can't be trusted. So I'm the one that, you wind down for an hour running around like a nut after the concert. Getting in a little trouble here and there, stories can't tell. But then I got to get up in the morning. So it's my job
Right.
to go to sleep. And I have to because my voice used to be so sensitive that after and I'm screaming, I learned a whole new thing in the 90s, which saved my voice. But back in those days, I didn't have that little technique. So I had to get sleep.
Yep.
And then I had to get up, go work out, go run, and then go do interviews, like 7. It was terrible. Then you go to an in-store and sign stuff. I mean, it was wonderful. It's wonderful. But I don't have the stories the guys can tell.
Okay.
I have stories I won't tell, put it that way.
Right.
But we did have fun, and opening for an Aerosmith crowd or Cheap Trick crowd is incredible. I mean, that's not our audience. We're the opener. So, but you walk out there, and a lot of people said, "Oh, if they're Aerosmith people, they might not like you. They'll throw things at you." Never happened. I think the novelty. The good thing is there's a chick in the beyond.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chick in the beyond. It's no competition. It's completely different.
Right.
So we just rocked and kicked butt, and people grabbing your hands and trying to take your rings off, and you feel like a rock star,
Right.
And we just got used to doing that, and it was really just the experience, really of a lifetime. Really, again, 3 months solid summer.
Mm-hmm.
we did like a month with Aerosmith and a month with Cheap Trick, and then we do these various things. You do smaller ones too. They're not all 20,000 people.
Yep.
You know, going into a 2,000 seat theater. It's great. You know, we did a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, even LA Jets. We had I can't remember which era it was, but like 1976 was it? We played for 3 nights at the Bottom Line in New York City, which is a small club, you know, posts in the room and
Yep.
you know, I don't even think those are permanent seats. I really don't know. A small stage, kind of like a mini theater at your high school or something. And there were 2 performances a night. And we opened for Cheech and Chong.
Oh.
And it was incredible. And they were incredible. So we played little places, you know, and then you go out. Basically, wherever we played, whatever hotel we were in, those are babysitters. They just keep us busy. Just keep them off the street, you know. You're going to go play somewhere, they book us some a hotel, let them stay there, stay safe, you know, kind of weird.
Did you play, because I'm in Minneapolis, did you ever play up here?
I believe we did, but honestly, I don't know. I'd have to kind of look at the, I'm sure we did, and I'm sure the road manager, who is Fred Hostetler, you know who Fred Hostetler is, and on the 1994 albums, he's Fred St. John.
Oh, yeah.
He was the road manager, and that's how we met. He would remember, because he remembers everything like that. Me, I'm kind of like point and shoot. Like, where are we? Where am I? You know, seriously. Like during the election, this last election, everybody was criticizing the people for forgetting where they are, or saying the wrong thing, or you know, you know, they don't know what they're doing. It's like, I feel for them because I know what that's like. I mean, you're lucky. You just know your cue. You know your music. But when you have to speak, your mind's just like, really, it's a blur. It's a blur.
Do you know what show the on one of the bonus tracks on the first 1994 CD release, your live version of Shoot to Kill? Do you know what show that was taken from?
I am told it was from the theater in the Circle Theater. Where's that? Circle Theater in Milwaukee or something?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
That song was good. Do you know what? I was just trying to rip off that song. I used to play guitar on that song, on the beginning of it. My Les Paul. Down, down, band down. They're always trying to get me to do weird things. Like weird things like play these big cymbals like this big. Walk across the stage like one of those wind-up monkeys playing these cymbals. And another one was play timbales.
Oh, yeah.
And then play, you know, play congas and then play timbales. You know, like what? I'm chopped liver. What I'm doing is not good enough. You got to have me walking around the stage. So I used to open with Shoot to Kill with the on my Les Paul. So I was just trying to rip that off on one of my songs that I have now. Like I want a line, you know. And I'm like, God, that thing on Shoot to Kill is really good.
Yeah.
Jam. Wow. Yeah.
Do you have a preference between the songs on the first album or the second album? Which one do you like more, do you think?
I like a lot of the songs on the first album. I love like Radio Zone. I get a kick out of it. Like, wow, I really kicked ass on that song. You know, that was really fun. It was fun to write.
Yeah.
Often back in those days, I wrote to the guitar players sort of completed song.
Oh.
And that was really hard to do. Really hard. I don't like to do that at all. Now, I mean, I run away from that. Like, you got a whole song, man? No, please. You know, what am I going to do to that? You know, anyway, it can be contrived again. It's hard to, a lot of people are really good at putting themselves in that, and I'm probably better at it now. But at that time, it was really hard for me to do. So I liked Radio Zone. I loved, oh God, there's a ton of songs though. that Eddie did. Oh my God, that we did on the second album. Oh God, I don't have those albums. I liked, like you say, Shoot to Kill. Some of the stuff on the second album started to get kind of mod. But Our Time Will Come, again, that's just, those chords. I'm going to learn that. I wrote it down the other day. Learn Our Time Will Come. Because you know what? That's on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. So it's easier for me to just, get Spotify and get my guitar and learn it off of that than put on a CD and hassle that out. So I'm going to learn those chords. Those chords are, really, they were brilliant. I was really in an interesting place on my Roland and wrote it on the Roland, and they were really unusual. At least they were when I started. I don't know how it ended up. Maybe my melody changed and got more normal, but at first it was pretty interesting. So that's what can
I know I think the first time I heard Stop This Heartache, I got like chills because your vocals are so like icy.
I love that. Yeah,
cool.
that's a really good one. Yeah, I really like that one too. Yeah, that is good. You know what? And I always liked the verses. Oh, Wait for Me. Still a favorite song of mine. That was, I love that song. That was really kind of lyrics from the heart. I think Eddie wrote most of the lyrics on Nerves of Steel and Stop This Heartache. And that always makes a difference with me, but yeah, I like the quality in those songs. Maybe might have done a little better on Nerves of Steel, but I did it now. But I like the sound of my voice on those tunes.
Yeah.
The band kicks butt. The music is really, really good.
Right.
That's really fun for me. I like listening to it. I put it on. I'll dance around.
Oh, that's good. I love that you on the second album too, that you guys close with Keep Raving On, because that's so heavy. And
I love that tune.
That's
like Radio Zone. I love Keep Raving On. Absolutely. Yeah. I write that as an autograph, or I'll say something like that. Yeah, I love that tune. I love it. I still love that tune. Recently I wrote one. I had a song, and somebody asked me, I don't, not to name drop, but Walter Trout asked me if I could write a song like the one on the Jeff Beck album he'd like to play on. And Back on the Streets, real fast, real. And so I took this one song of mine that was already kind of fast, and then I just really amped it up. And so I'm going to do that one. It's like, yeah, go ahead, try to learn these lyrics. You go ahead, catch up. Yeah, I like doing stuff like that. I still do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna settle down, really. It's hard to act your age. It's hard.
I was gonna transition that to your like starting with Aerosmith, your experience singing backup on their album.
Oh, on Draw the Line?
Yeah.
There is a funny story there. That was great. Of course, I always get these calls, like to come in and do a background vocal, like in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah.
Jack, who calls me. I sang on the album's called Gray Area. The guy's last name is Palmer. I'm just looking at it. I have the album. Anyway, I sang several songs on that particular album, and I sang a whole bunch of songs on the last Cheap Trick album that I did not get screen credit for, which really pissed me off.
Yeah,
I did it for free, just to have fun, and do it. Like 5 songs. Wow. Anyway, yeah, I know. And I stayed in New York an extra week. But anyway, that stuff happens, stuff. Anyway, so you mentioned what? You said the Draw the Line. Yep. So I get the call in the middle of the night. I go to the studio in the middle of the night and do that song. Now, I think that I can't hardly tell the difference between me and Steven singing on that song, so I don't know how effective I was, but it was kind of fun. They said, the first female ever to sing on an Aerosmith album, so okay, I got that. But then I went on stage and did a couple of appearances with them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 3 before we just said forget it. And
Oh.
I would walk out at the end of the song, I think. You know, it would have been cool if I could have stood there and did a Tina Turner thing the whole time, you know. But basically, I just kind of, I think, as far as I can remember, I would walk out and, you know, oh, yeah, it's some chick in hot pants and high boots and fishnets. Wow. And Stephen was so nervous. He was grabbing me. We were singing through the same mic. So he's grabbing me like around the waist to, you know,
Yeah.
that's what you do, you know, to get in tight. But geez, man, he's like tearing my clothes off. Literally, my shirt was like shifted around on this side, and I'm like, really, I'm here, you know, it's okay. Yeah. But he was really nervous, and I think that, you know, was kind of nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty funny. So I think we just bailed on that because it was, you know, plus I can't go flying around the country, you know, just to do one song,
Right.
one bit. But it was cool. I've always kept in sort of seen those guys, you know, here and there. Well, and you know, it's because of Jack. It's the tie with Jack,
right.
you know. And Christine, just to tell, married Jack. So
yeah,
you know, we're still buds, you know. We're still. Jack just asked me to do a movie. It was like an answer to my prayers.
Oh,
one of my prayers is, please let me write a song for a movie, and if possible, let me sing it.
Yep.
You know, I'm kind of hoping for that James Bond, you know, diamonds are forever. You know, but whatever. Anyway, he had a little independent tune. He was an independent movie, and he asked me to write the song and sing the song. And that was last winter. And I was ready to go and get on a plane.
Yeah.
And the COVID hit.
Yep.
And I was going to fly out on a Wednesday. I was packed to leave on a Monday and to go near the airport. And he called me Sunday evening, said, been delayed. So then I just found out. In fact, I found out just recently that they got somebody else. Well, we changed lives.
Yep.
I mean, ruined lives. You know, not just my little project, but, you know, a lot of things. So bummer, I got this stupid song. Oh, many, I mean, I lived these things. I had it done in 3 days. I was done that day. When he asked me, boom, I just wrote it. It just came. But then I refined it. I had 8 versions of it. I played it constantly. I recorded it constantly, right. Living it in my sleep, you know, la, 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 running, going over the lyrics, running, going over, changing it. I mean, really, I was immersed, embedded. Mm-hmm. And so now I got this, how am I going to do this song? Anyway, what did you ask me? What was the question?
You answered it. It was just
Aerosmith. Yeah. So I still see them every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to go next into singing backup for Mark Farner.
Oh, well, you know what? I think that I didn't get to sing with Mark Farner. I believe again, I was supposed to. And then as it turned out, they called me at, you know, like midnight, and I go up to the record plant and just sing the harmony, as far as I remember. Name of that song again? Just One Look.
Yeah.
Ooh, that you. Yeah. Boy, my voice was so high back then. I mean, I could really sing some stellar, like, you know, almost like Minnie Riperton notes, like sci-fi. I think she had an octave above me, which is pretty impressive because I used that range all the time. Somebody said one time I was messing around doing some like spaceship noises, and they said, "Can you sing lyrics, words with that?" I go, "Oh yeah." But anyway, so unfortunately I can't say any great stories. All I know is they called me at midnight and I went and did my thing again.
Okay.
Call me in the middle of the night, I'm easy.
Is that the case with when you sang on Harlequin's album too? You remember that?
I can't even remember that one. Honestly, I can't. I don't even remember where that was.
Well, they were a Canadian band that was being produced by Jack, and
There you go.
they must have recorded down here.
They must have done it in New York.
Yeah,
I think it was New York, yeah, because I lived in New York, so I was
yeah,
there. So that's what I would do. I would go in there and just do my thing, you know.
I know this was a little bit after that, but when you sang that for Graham Parker too.
Graham Parker, Graham Parker. Oh,
Oh,
that
that's
was
what.
one. Well,
Okay.
that was the one I was saying, Palmer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that was great. Oh, I love that. That was really fun. Again, same kind of thing. Call me in the middle of the night. Uh, and often I would do several parts, you
Yeah.
know, or all the parts, 3 parts. And what was I going to say? Yeah, sometimes one of the guys would be in the studio. You know, a couple of the guys. You're introduced. Try to, you know, say a little something. Basically, just get on in there, and here it
Yeah.
is, and you go. It's not like I'm hanging around figuring out. I go in and do the part, you know, figure it out, basically. Or if so, you know, Jack wants to give me some instruction. Here's sort of what we're doing. But really, I kind of knock that stuff out pretty fast. You know, be home in about a half hour. No, not really, not really. But yeah, a lot of them went down that way. A lot of tunes.
Yeah. Well, so if you're living in New York then at that time too, then did you encounter Desmond Child at all?
No, no, I didn't.
Or yeah, or anybody that was part of like Meatloaf's group, like Ellen Foley or Carla DeVito or
You know, wasn't that about 1979, 1980?
yeah.
Yeah. Um, these people were around. Like if you go to a club and somebody might say, "Hey, there's so and so,"
Right.
not to be chummy with. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I'm not a person that approaches people. You
Hmm.
know, I'm kind of. I mean, I get it's shy, really. I'm
Yeah.
just not. You know, I mean, if Ella Fitzgerald was on stage right now, I would go crazy just to get her autograph.
Hmm.
But I don't know if I would bother her. You know.
Yeah.
And if I ever do, it's usually a disaster. I can't get over it for like
No.
repeating like, why did I say that? I think I went up to Taj Mahal. We were playing in opening for him in a small place in Seattle, and Taj Mahal is really a big deal to me. I mean, I've worn out his Giant Step album, worn it out.
Hmm.
I know every single thing. If I just hear the voice, I go, I know the tune, I know the voice. And so he was sitting in the chair and we were done with our sound check. And I went up and just said some blithering, idiotic stuff like, "You are the fabric to my being," pointing to my hand like this. "You are the skin of my hands."
Yeah.
Looked at me like, "Bitch, what are you talking about? You know, get out my, who the hell is this woman? Help, security." You know, and when I get that thing like where it goes like this, look, they go from here, they go,
Yeah. Right.
like, oh man, why did I even say anything? You know. So often I don't do anything. So if I ever saw these people, I really don't know. We used to go out a lot then. We used to go to the Ritz all the time. There was always stuff going on there. We played there one time. Anyway, there were a lot of really cool grungy places where, you know, Blondie was around back then, and you know, I probably would have scratched her eyes out if I'd seen her. You know, there was a lot of people around then, a lot of people all over. I mean, you just see people, but I don't remember people specifically, really, to be honest.
How come you just said that about Debbie Harry?
Oh, she was just incredibly hot when we were there.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there were like a million pictures of her, and I was, you know, probably envious. You know, and just going crazy. You know, those fabulous pictures of her everywhere, and I got one promo picture. You know, what am I? I mean, there's no competition, but yeah, they were having an incredible rise, meteoric.
Yeah, right.
You know, absolutely ruling the city. You know, Andy Warhol and all that. You know, I wasn't in on that. You know.
Were you around the area when John Lennon was killed?
Very much so. We were booked in the studio. we were playing. Jack was working on his album.
Yep.
I think it's studio, I don't know, whatever the one is upstairs. And we would get our session for the girls' night out when he was done. So we would go in, I don't know, whatever, midnight, 10, I don't know. And we came in that night and we were shushed away and told, don't go in there, don't go in there. And then we were told. So Yoko and Jack and Christine were in there, and it was just some weird, I don't even know if she was in there. I don't remember, but it was like right there, right? Of course he's up the street on 72nd Street, and this is what, 48th or 40, whatever street that is.
Right.
And, but yeah, those were terrible. It was a terrible night, terrible times, just strange.
Oh, so you were in the middle of recording Girls' Night Out then when that happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were sharing the studio. We were getting cheap time because we'd go up and work in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Well, like the next thing I was going to ask after that was how you decided to go into recording new wave instead of progressing with the rock thing.
I like this story. When we got done with the second 1994 album, their music was changing, but when you're doing an album, at least for me, I don't listen to stuff, right? I mean, I don't listen to the radio.
Oh. Yeah.
Just, we're doing what we're doing. I've got a job. I got to write lyrics. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not listening to stuff. So music was changing, and, that album, some of those tunes and melodies and things reflected that. And then when I got back to New York, I had my hair and my bootcut jeans and my kind of 70s rocker clothes, and we went to the Ritz, which is downtown, huge old ballroom that's not, I know it's not there anymore. Huge old ballroom, everybody hanging in the balconies and the rooms, and everybody who was playing Bunny, who was that dude? Bunny, can't even remember. All these cool people would play live, and also videos. Well, everybody's just jamming and dancing, and they're totally hip. They're totally hip to new wave and punk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm standing up in the balcony in my high heel leather boots under my jeans, and I looked down and went, oh my God, I'm out of it. I'm completely not stylish. I'm totally out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm a dinosaur. I'm standing here, a dinosaur. I need to go. Literally, I was just totally turned off the whole night, just split. And I think I met this girl, maybe even that night, who had really short blonde hair. And I found her hairdresser like the next day and just took it off, took in all my jeans by hand, got my tennis shoes out, completely transformed, completely just like, I got it. I'm done with that. I was so embarrassed with that, that old stuff. It was so weird. So that literally just happened like that. And then Fred and I just started going to Max's Kansas City. There was a club called Max's Kansas City. We used to go there and just walk around. By then, I was poor now. Now I'm poor.
Yep.
Now I have no record deal. So I don't have any money. So I walked everywhere. You can't take a cab.
Mm-hmm.
And we roller skated in the 80s. Had roller skates. Turned my ice skates into roller skates.
Yeah.
That was really a fun time too. The song "Ring My Bell" was a big hit.
Oh yeah.
And we'd roller skate. This one I lived still uptown on 66th and Broadway, between something like that. Anyway, so we'd roller skate into Central Park, and everybody be skate dancing to songs like "Ring My Bell," and oh my God, that was a fun time. But I used it like transportation. I mean, I was a monster on those things, jumping up and down, going on cobblestone streets, brick streets, you know, anyway, go. I still belong to the health club though. I saw the Pope.
Oh,
John Paul, yeah, from the window of the health club. That was cool.
like back then.
Anyway, yeah, those were strange times, and just to, you know, like just changing my spots, you know, just changing. I just completely embraced it, and that's what I did. Oh yeah, and I had lost my voice, so I had to shut up for a month after Our Time Will Come. Remember, Jack wanted to do it digitally, so I was prescribed to shut up for a month. So I put tape over my mouth, literally duct tape over my mouth, and I would just not talk. And if I had to do anything, I would just, and it became like Harpo Marx. I mean, I was pretty expressive that way, but yeah, I did it for 1 month. So when I came back to singing, I was like more like just talking, you know, like just go easy with it, real easy. And so it turned into like, wow, these are cool. I'm writing songs in sort of a talking, gentler mode. That's how that happened. Then I moved downtown because I lost my apartment. Couldn't afford it.
Oh.
We had a rent control downtown. It's great. We had a upper apartment, 5 floors up. It was like $250 a month. And then the guys down in the basement had an art gallery down there, and they were moving out, and they let us take over the rent controlled basement, and that was $250. So we rented the upper apartment for $500, and it paid for both.
Oh.
Now all I had to get was food. Anyway,
Yeah.
look for money walking down the street. You can find it in New York. Literally, it'll take about 5 minutes, and there's money on the ground. Oh, $5 bill. Oh my God. I can tell when I see somebody walking down the street, they're looking for money. I can tell. I look for money.
Yeah, I saw another interview, like the other main one of you that's out there on the internet that chronicles your career, that like at that time when you were living in New York, that something about how you and Fred would like share a bag of M&Ms, and that was like your dinner or something.
That was our entertainment.
Yeah.
That was our entertainment. There's 2 for you, 2 for me, and we would walk from our apartment at the basement apartment, 28th Street. We'd walk down to the Village and probably turn around Soho. It gets dark down there. Maybe not now, but it was dark. And we'd just walk around and come back and just, you know, just people watch.
Oh,
Crazy
yeah.
people. Sir, I died first, sir. Yeah, I still love New York. I just went there for a pilgrimage to all the places all the places I used to live at.
Mhm.
You know, when I was there in 2015.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Yeah, really.
What was is there a story with the music video for the title track of Girls Night Out?
Well, it's just that's kind of how we felt back then. You know, we were kind of living in murky times, kind of shadow times. We were assigned the director.
Mhm.
And I kind of I don't know why I liked the weird 50s thing. I just did. That's just how I was able to take on the new wave stuff. Maybe I just, it's not like I identified with it. I mean, I was a baby back in that era. But I just kind of like, I don't know, the era of the 50s, you know.
Mhm.
I like all those past eras, kind of weird. So that's how I approached it. So the party dress and the juxtaposed hair and then the creepy. I mean that was film. Those creepy areas were a block away from our apartment.
Yeah.
So you know, nowadays that's really gentrified. That's 9th and 10th. Oh yeah, there was some creepy stuff going on back then. You know.
Mhm.
Just really the dawning of, as far as I knew, the dawning of major drug era.
Yeah.
I kind of split. I wasn't doing that. You know, I mean, I'm not even allowed to do drugs. I mean, I wasn't allowed to do anything because everything wrecked my throat.
Right.
You know, everything trashed my throat, and I had enough trouble just trying to maintain the beast, as I would call it. But yeah, so I didn't do a lot of stuff, you know. So and people shielded me from it. Like they're doing it, but I didn't see them doing it. I
Oh,
see it going on in the studio and stuff. But yeah, I was really kind of shielded from that. So I was kind of surprised when I wasn't surprised when after I split. I think I split from New York in about 82. 80, it might have been December 81. I don't know. I can't remember the release date of that album. And it could have been 82. And we went back for a concert, a 1994 concert.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, because John Desatel, the drummer, had stayed in California, and I had gone back with Fred to New York and was, you know, pounding the pavement literally back then. And John got like a guy to put up money to do a 1994 concert, maybe another album, you know, reunite the band or something.
Yeah.
So we opened for Sammy Hagar at Santa Monica Civic.
Oh,
And we went out and I think it was like December, and thank you very much. You know, I mean, I was freezing in New York, gonna freeze again with crummy $40 boots and plastic bags on my feet to keep the cold out. I kid you not, which I heard later could give you frostbite, but it's not that cold there to give you frostbite. But yeah, it was just struggle. Oh my God, such struggling for food. I mean, my God, really, we had popcorn. Popcorn was dinner. And then in the morning, we'd put milk on it with honey and then have it for cereal. Popcorn.
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty lean times. But so I was so happy to go back to, you know, California and be in the warm. And I remember writing a letter from this person's Malibu house. I was laying by the pool, December 10th, I think, that year, saying, ain't coming back.
Mhm.
I'll be back for my stuff. And
Yeah.
I'll try to see you when I come back. But I'm enjoying the trunk of a car instead of my shoulders with ginormous bags flung over my shoulders, you know, just harder times. It's easier to have hard times if you can, you know, all you worry about is gas in your car, but at least you can drive around. I don't know.
Right.
It's more free. I enjoyed the change, you know. I was just cold. There was nothing left there.
So after you guys opened for Sammy and you were back in LA and everything, were you approached by any other record labels?
Well, now Fred and I are living in this with this guy, this couple in Malibu, who wanted to, you know, put money into my project. So we did a lot of work. We put a band together, and John wasn't in it. John did something else. And we had, oh, wow. Yeah, we had these guys that were, we actually used Rod Stewart's drummer and bass player, I think. And they were working out of, we had a studio time at Record Plant again. Now they know me, you know, I'm just like a, you know, a little cat that wanders in every now and then. Oh, here's that cat again. And so we were using those guys and you know, other guys here and there to make demos and try to shop them around. And that lasted. Fred and I lived with that couple for 3 years.
Yeah.
So we did a showcase did a lot of recording, and we did. Oh yeah, we got a record out of that. We did Rip and Tear. So
Yeah.
Rip and Tear, that was, yeah, we did Rip and Tear out of that era. I can't remember if we were still with Rick Brown at the time. I think we had moved. I think we were out and we used Eddie. But we were doing demos and stuff and living in Malibu, writing in Malibu, you know, gee, that was hard. Living right on the cliff, you know,
Oh.
was really, really nice. You know, still didn't have any money, but I was kind of like Kato Kalin, you know, like a gopher. You know, I fed the animals, cleaned the pool area.
Mm-hmm.
Fred taught me to play tennis on the tennis court.
Yeah.
It was not a struggle. It was pretty cool. Pretty different way to do things. Anyway, so we played with all these guys, made a lot of demos. We did a showcase at the Roxy.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think there's any recording. Oh God, you know what happened? We had a really good rehearsal tape of that band. It was really good. A cassette, but it was a good cassette player that it was recorded onto.
Yeah.
And it was a good rehearsal tape. And I had it for years. And in 2000, I got a new car, and I left my cassettes that I still had. I mean, we were doing CDs then, but I still had all these cassettes. I'd pop in and check them out. My car was broken into, and they took all my cassettes.
Oh.
Little box.
Yeah.
And they tore them up. I saw them in an alley, all strewn around. Otherwise, I would have had some recordings from that era, you know, at least as good as that live shoot to kill thing.
Right.
Way better than that. Way better than that. And so now there's no recording of some of those songs. We added one to Spinning Wheel. We put Spinning Wheel.
Oh yeah.
We have some recordings from there. But yeah, there was some pretty good stuff there. But I think we put a lot of it on the Rip and Tear album. So we got that out. We got that. Maybe we got that after that whole era, but it was still about the same time. That's how I look at it.
What about when you got the job singing the theme song for Misfits of Science?
Oh, that was kind of a. Remember, I told you. Okay, so I lost my voice again. And I was told, I'll try to speed it up. I lost my voice again, and I was told to shut up by the same doctors, right?
Yeah.
And shut up again, or you could have surgery. Well, I didn't want surgery, so I decided to shut up. And we went on a long vacation. In fact, went to India, which was pretty cool. And I just shut up for a whole month, and came back. I might be mixing my eras, but I had to sing slowly again, right? I had to kind of, you know, like physical therapy, just kind of get going and, you know, not do too much. Oh yeah. And I went to a coach. I found after about 3 different people I was referred to, I found this wonderful coach, Florence Riggs. She is the wife of a very famous Seth Riggs, who literally goes around the country, like on airplanes and stuff, and warms up rock stars before they go on stage.
Oh.
Like, really, I've never heard of such a thing. Me, I can warm myself up. Okay, hello. Yeah. But, you know, he was very good at what he did, and she was perfect for me because it was a woman and an alto. And so I could figure out what she was doing, and I figured it out. So now I've got a new way to sing.
Yep.
And it was really different, and it takes a lot of time to make it part of your fabric of your skin. Anyway, so I got called. Steve Schiff, you know, he's an old buddy. He called me. He was in 1994, called me to do this Misfits of Science thing. So I go do Misfits of Science things. Yeah. Try to sound as young as possible. I guess that's what, you know, that's what they wanted. And so I'm singing it like, you know, little kid. And just real youthful. I hit the floor and patted my eyes, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And
so so I did that, and I went to get paid at the studio. I believe it was Warner Brothers. And I love studios. And my sister, my very oldest sister, used to work at Warner Brothers. I love to wander around those places. But anyway, so I go to the library of Warner Brothers to get paid, and there's this the man that pays people, don't know his real job title, but he works at the library. He's Russian, and he and I are talking, and you know, just blah 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 blah. And I probably told him the story of my life. No, just kidding. But you know, we're kind of hitting it off, and he said, "I want you to meet a friend of mine. I believe he's looking for a singer." I said, "Well, okay, you know, I'm not doing anything, you know," and I'm thinking, "Oh, okay." And his name was Grisha Dimant, very famous in the LA Russian community, maybe even the New York community. He was like a rock star when he was 16 years old in Russia, and kicked out for being an undesirable. And he had stories. R.I.P. Grisha. I still have his name in my phone, but he did pass away anyway. But he was so good, and he asked me to be in a band. He gave me a song to try out for this Russian band.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great because it's going to be like lounge music and, you know, kind of loungy, schmoungy, cover tunes in all languages, French, Portuguese, Spanish, not many German ones, but Yiddish, Russian, of course, mixed languages. And this is kind of like just stuff that I love. You know, I've been imitating languages like that for years, just goofing off. So he gave me this really hard song, and I passed the audition and learned it. And I was in a band with him for 4 years, and then I joined another one following that for 2 more years. So for 6 years, I sang every weekend and made some money, man. You know, I'm not used to I'm in a band that, you know, like I told you, I've been in bands that struggled, got signed. I really never saw any money come out of it. I just lived off per diem. You know, maybe I spent my per diem on boots. You know, my $250 that I might make a week. I would not eat, which was just fine, and buy boots. And so it was unusual for me, even at that age and that era, to make money and do it with. I'm doing cover tunes, but not American cover tunes. Right? I'm getting paid. So it was really great. Met one of my best friends to this day, Emma Zaxler. And that's how what was the question? I'm sorry.
The Misfits of Science story.
Yeah, Misfits of Science. So doing Misfits of Science, and then I got that other gig. Wow. I guess you didn't ask. Oh, well, just edit.
Was that before Jeff Beck? Or after?
That was probably around the same time.
Yeah, the same year.
Same time. Again, we got called at midnight, I believe. Maybe it was 10. Living in LA. Probably what, 1986, I guess. And I don't know. I can't remember. And we got called, and the engineer, Steve Marcantonio, I believe he was working on that album. I think it was him, or I think it was he. And we got called that Jeff Beck had a song that he wrote on an airplane, and it was an instrumental, but his manager wanted lyrics. And they want to put it on the other side of People Get Ready. So we knew all that stuff. So they called us up because Steve Marcantonio, I think it was Steve, was our engineer, our gopher engineer, assistant engineer in New York for whatever, Girls Night Out, I guess, and other projects too. You know, Jack hired him all the time. He was just a great guy, the Earthling Steve. And so we went in and listened to the track, and I did meet Jeff this time and kind of made some wisecracks about playing and, you know, this and that, trying to be cool. And here's the song. And we took it home, and they said, we need this like right now. Right now we need it. We need it tomorrow. So we just stayed up all freaking night, and I believe we cracked the nut at and called them up at 2 p.m. the next day. I think we cracked the nut like in the middle of the morning, like 5 or 6 in the morning, maybe got some sleep.
Yeah.
Then maybe, but maybe not. Maybe just went in and did it, and called them and went in and did it that day. And it was a longer song with 2 choruses. Sorry, I liked it better the other way. Back on the streets, back on the street, back on the street, and then it does it again, you know, even a little harder, you know. So it was pretty heavily edited, but that was really fun. I mean, you know, I'm just lucky to get these things, you know.
Right. What was your since you mentioned that you sang on one of Cheap Trick's albums, but you weren't credited, what's the story behind that, really?
Well, I'll tell part of it. I got the call from Jack. He was doing Fred and I were in New York, and actually we were staying with an old friend of ours. We were probably there just, we still had an apartment, those 2 apartments there, and we would go back and, you know, check on it now and then, and we had stuff there and
Yeah.
friends, of course. So we'd go back and forth fairly often. We'd drive from LA nonstop, driving MFs. And so we were back there staying with a friend of ours. And Jack called and said, you wanted to do this thing? Of course. But it was delayed and delayed. And I'm used to that. That happens all the time. It happened with Frankie Miller album. I was in England to do it, and we never did it there.
Oh.
In New York. But anyway, so I'm used to, you know, everybody's used to that stuff. But so I'm there for like 5 days. Finally, I get called in. We're ready. I go in and do it. Probably did it one day, one night, all the parts. No big deal. But you know, it was a fair amount of doing my thing, and can't quite call it work, you know. And I went in and did that, and the manager was mad at me and didn't pay me. So
Wow.
he did it on purpose. You know, what can I say? You know, some people just don't understand. No means no. You know, so some people take it well and some people don't take it well. And I remember he called me, and I think I called him up, and I had the album in my hand. I said, you know, hey man, I'm not saying his name. Hey Ken, what's up? I didn't get credit on this album. Did you forget? And he goes, no, I didn't forget. He said, but I'm sending you a check for $1,000. Go buy yourself a new hat. Jeez, boy, I was so pissed, so pissed. Because obviously, I'm doing it for the credit. I mean, that's all it is to me. It's just glory. It's just honor. It's glory. It's not for the money. You know, money's fine. Wouldn't know, but.
Was that would that album would have been Heaven Tonight, or which one was that?
It's the one with the new players, different players. It was, you know what I mean? They had a couple of different players, different bass player maybe.
Oh, so one.
So was it Peterson was the original bass player, and they had somebody else, and.
Oh, so yeah, it's.
You know, Rick was still, of course, and Robin, I believe, and Bunny, but just the 3 of them and maybe another 2 players. I don't really remember.
Did you?
I don't even know where the record is. I probably never listened to it. You know, I might have listened to it once, but you know, it's just kind of, you know, not a lot of pain. Believe me, when you talk about pain, there's other pain, and I've felt other, you know, pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it was that wasn't very nice. I didn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm. Did you interact with Cheap Trick much or no?
At that time, I think it was just Rick there, and Rick I've seen often.
Okay.
You know, he's pretty tight with Jack, and usually I'll see them often together. You know, he might have been there and he might not have been. I can't even remember, honestly, just to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. But I do remember Rick. I remember him in the 70s. I can't tell you what's behind it, but I just remember him going, something was going on that was kind of racy, you know.
Oh.
Some sexually racy stuff. And he's saying, I'm just a boy from Rockland. He's pretty funny. He's good people. You know, smart, pretty down to earth, but you know, kind of smart. I suspect anyway.
Yeah.
He's really cute.
Was that the only instance where you sang backup around that time and weren't credited too?
Yeah, I don't think it ever happened any other time.
Okay.
I think that's the only time that I wasn't credited. You know, I usually don't get paid.
Yeah.
It's usually, you know, there is no monetary, there will be no remuneration, you know, something like that. Yeah, I think that is the first time I never got credit.
And this isn't related to that, but I was going to ask too, with all the other female rock acts at that same time. Well, first I can ask, did you ever meet any of them or no? Like, did you ever meet Debbie Harry or Pat Benatar? Or...
No, I didn't. I thought I met. I didn't. I know that Ann Wilson heard me sing at BB King's one time in the '90s. That's all I know.
Oh, that's cool.
We were playing at BB King's Universal
Yeah.
Studios, and we played there regularly, like every 6 weeks in the '90s. And I remember, I don't think it's this. Honestly, I get things mixed up, but I don't think it's the same time BB King was in the audience. But maybe that was another night, and that's great. That was great. We got a picture with him. But this one night, they told me Ann Wilson was listening to you. Ann Wilson was in the room. She came in and listened, and then she split really fast, and they're trying to make something out of it, right?
Yeah.
All I remember is, oh, good. I was smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I was on fire that night. So I was like, wow, cool. Somebody other than the audience, I won't even call her audience, a competitor, but not really, not really. In my dreams, she's a competitor, right? But, so one of your peers.
Yep.
I remember God. And I didn't know she was there. So I wasn't like trying to do that. That was just par, what I would try to reach for.
Yeah, well, that was the second thing I was going to ask, if there was ever any kind of resentment that you had that all those other female acts were blowing up.
Don't say it, Chris. None whatsoever.
Okay.
No, I don't think there was anything genuine like that. I'm just too puppy done for that, and I'm just too in the moment, and I might look around and be slightly envious or something, or even pissed off.
Yeah.
That, wow, man, it's or this or something, but not genuinely. I think it's from confidence and just working it, constantly trying to, be in it.
Right.
Not really looking like, like a girl in a party dress and she's got a better dress, or boots or something, no, not really. There's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
It's kind of like, I'm only 5'3", maybe I was 5'4" at one time in my life, but there's nothing I can do about it. Yes, I hate that biatch whose legs come up to here. I don't want to stand next to her, and I sure don't want a picture of us standing next to each other.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, right? But I can't do anything about it, so yeah. Hey, c'est la vie.
And what about when you were touring with major acts with LHS 1994? Was that always like a positive experience? Like, did they always treat you guys nicely?
Yeah, always.
That's good.
Yeah, I remember Robin gave me, I think that sometimes they don't want to approach me, maybe because, I don't know, maybe they were polite. They don't want to act like they're hitting on me and me get the wrong idea, and maybe they thought that I would get into that or whatever. So people kind of kept to their own side of the fence.
Yeah.
The net, so to speak. But I do remember we were all waiting on cabs, I guess, at the airport, and with Cheap Trick. And as I had said, I'd already met Rick Nielsen privately, in a private setting, before I knew his band. And so then years later, or a year or two later, Robin gave me a scarab. He came up to me and just gave me this scarab, almost shyly.
Oh.
Yeah. And I know it's not because I'm intimidating, because I look back at pictures, I just look like, young. And, but I don't know. So we kind of kept to our thing. And like I say, I'm not out partying. I got responsibilities. I never regretted that, though, because it really kept me out of trouble.
Mhm.
Because if there's trouble right there, I'm down with that. I'll get in it. I'll be dancing on the table.
Mhm.
Come on. Hey, hey, hey. I'm kind of a dope, a performing seal. So I like a little bit of trouble.
So when you were doing all those interviews with radio stations and stuff, was it always just that, or were you on TV ever too?
Um, there might have been a couple of things like that. Mostly it was radio, a lot of live radio.
Hmm.
Back in those days, it's FM radio. I don't really know if I can't, I'm remembering something, but I can't really remember whether there was any film like that.
Yeah.
And those guys were not polite. A lot of those guys were not polite. I was literally like a sacrificial lamb. That's my feeling when I'd go into this situation with like 3 men from the radio station, maybe one guy from the representative of the record company in that town. And I felt like, here you go, boys.
Yeah.
Here she is. Go into your little room. I'm serious.
Right.
Just like what's that thing that Grace Kelly says in Rear Window, juggling wolves.
Yeah.
I've juggled wolves a lot.
Right.
I've had my fill
Mhm.
from below and above. God damn it, I'm tired. But yeah, that was a weird thing being a female singer back then. That wasn't really fun. It was hard to do. And you got to be nice.
Hmm.
You can't insult them. You can't
Mhm.
just come out with it. You can't just say, F you,
Yeah.
knock it off. Asshole.
Right.
You have to be nice.
Well, because in the same year that Valley Jets album came out, did you guys ever meet the Runaways?
Oh no, we were really close. Foley, wasn't his name Foley? Foley, what was his name? The manager?
Oh yeah, Kim Fowley.
And Foley. I believe I was asked to be in that band, and I think I talked to him on the phone. That's as close as I got. And that was we were staying in the Palisades. We were recording we were in California recording the second 1994 album.
Mm.
And yeah, there was something about wanting me to be in that band. And I don't know if it was just jive. Again, it's a perfect segue to that conversation because it's just a guy talking. Hey, I really want you to be in our band. Why don't you, come in to my apartment?
Right.
I'll meet you. I mean, it could have been that. It could have been real. I don't know. But yeah,
That's interesting.
we just got close. We didn't get, us gals never met.
Hmm. Did you never meet Joan at all, like in
Nope.
general? Okay.
Kind of like when you're in town and you say, "Did you meet them?" No, I'm working and they're working.
Right. Yeah.
And our schedules are the same. They're working, I'm working. Yeah. Nope, never did. Probably people didn't want us to meet. Might have thought something weird would happen. I
Yeah.
doubt that's like putting 2 cats in a cage, maybe.
Hmm.
Not from me. Not from me. Like I said, I didn't really harbor any of that.
Right.
At all. I always saw myself as different. A lot of people compare me to things, and it's like, what? I don't get that. What are you talking about? So it wasn't a thing for me.
Also, in reviews and stuff of the albums, were you getting compared to all those kind of
In
artists?
reviews, not to my face,
Yeah. In reviews.
but in reviews, there's always a comparison, and it always kind of pissed me off, and it still does, honestly. I just let it go now. I really have had to let it go because, like, yeah, we both got this, and we're girls.
Mhm.
That's it. That's the similarity. Okay, thank you very
Right.
much. But yeah, in reviews and stuff, they might do some comparisons, but I never did myself.
Hmm.
Certainly not with Heart, because she's got a really high It's almost like they're doing pop Led Zeppelin songs, you know, the real like
Yeah.
gypsy, you know, just real different. And I guess it doesn't show, but I'm a lot more R&B than
Oh, yeah.
most people. I think that's the element that's going on in my head that makes me not see the comparison, you know?
Right.
To me, it's going, if you want to compare me to Tina Turner, I agree with that one. In tone,
Hmm.
you know, in a tone.
Yeah.
I like that one.
So I can
Never minded that one.
bring that into Blue by Nature. So but I was just curious too, because I know Rick Dufay had a solo album that was produced by Jack in 1980. Did you meet him then?
Oh, very much so.
Okay.
Oh my God. We had a crazy relationship. Me and John, I think, and Fred, and John's girlfriend. I mean, what an incestuous group we were. We were living in Jack and Christine's apartment on 34th Street, I think. And Rick's album was laying around. I listened to the album. I thought he was smashing looking. You know, just really,
Yeah.
I just loved the cover. You know, I'd stare at it really like, God, this guy is really good looking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his hair, mouth, and I just thought he was really, really good looking. And then I knew Jack was working with him. So finally, we would meet. Like if we were at Studio 54 at that era, he would be there. You know, I just saw him. You know, I was with somebody. I mean, me and Fred were an item.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's, you know, when I say he's good looking, I just, you know, I admired that. I thought that was really a plus for him and Jack's project. And I really liked the way he played. I thought his playing was really great and his tone, and I liked it. I was going for it. So I would see him around, but as far as I recall, there wasn't any, you know, there might have been a how do you do, you know, I'm shaking hands, or how do you do? Maybe. But there was a time I was on tour, a promo tour, to promote the second 1994 album. I think it was 1979, I don't know. And I went to Canada, and I went like the farthest reaches to the west and came across, and it was October because it was my birthday. So many interviews. Again, it was like I was traveling, and I did so many interviews and dinners with people and lunches with people. It was a barrage. It was really aggressive and ambitious. But the record company A&M did it to me they gave it to me because they knew I did this. You know, pointer in the, you know, you can imagine like I'm talking right now, only, okay, you're done, now go do this again.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not hard. Anyway, so, but I was really, really tired. And it is hard to form sentences and do the promo. You know, I don't have anything to promote to you, Chris, right now, you know, but I would have to get all the info in there. Well, and then this song is the single, and yes, up and coming dates. You know, we just had to get info in there, and I'd incorporate important things into questions they would ask. Anyway, it was hard. It was hard work. I was exhausted at the end of the day, and the night kept going. So I remember one time, and it was my birthday. So October 21st, I'm sitting in the hotel room at like, I don't know, 5, and I'm just catching a breather, probably going to clean up, probably shower, and go out again and do more, you know, meet and greet stuff. And I'm sitting on the bed, and Christine, my manager, is sitting on the other bed, and we're facing each other, and she's got a phone call, and I'm just sitting there. I mean, I wish I could show you. I was just sitting there like this, you know, just like, whoa, like, right? And she's on the phone talking and laughing and everything. She goes, hey, somebody wants to talk to you. And she hands me the phone, and it's Rick. And he said, "Oh yeah, who's this? Who's this? Karen Lawrence? Oh yeah, I remember you." And I hear the room just burst in laughter. There's a lot of people in this room.
Oh.
Sounds like 20 people. Sounds like a lot of people. I don't know what they're doing. So he goes, "Oh yeah, who's it? Oh, Karen Lawrence. Oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah, I met you at Studio 54. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I really wanted to fuck you that night, but you were too sloppy."
Oh my God.
And the whole room erupted. And I'm just sitting there holding this telephone with a wire on it, going, "Huh? What? What's just happened?
Yeah.
What the
Wow.
hell?" I mean, I was like, really, like, I had no words.
Mhm.
No words at the moment because I was just brain dead right then. So this went on every time we meet, which was all the time now. Now when I'm back in New York, I run into him all the time, and he's really good at making these jokes, and he makes weird jokes that kind of get down to like a weird core. It's hard to explain, but it's
Right.
like you're on an acid trip, and he says something like, life's really pretty crappy. And then you go like, whoa, you're right.
Yeah.
It's so deep, so deep. He's always been that way. And anyway, so he and I would trade off because I'm pretty smart alecky, and I mean, I got my wits about me now. So we're just bandying, and people like want to watch, like, oh, look here, and we kind of pass like
Yeah.
one person coming in, oh, he's going to do this, and we talking like that. So that happened several times. Finally, I got tired of it. I just got tired of it. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
So Fred and I asked Rick to meet us at a restaurant, a little diner there. And he met us, and we're sitting at this little diner, all bright and sunny inside there. And I said, Rick, I really admire your playing. I admire your talent. I really like you. I think you're funny, and I like everything. But I don't want to do this anymore. If you want to talk to me, just talk to me straight. And when I talk to you, I will talk to you straight.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I want. Because I mean, we're embedded now. I mean, he's with Jack. He's like Jack's best friend, and we're seeing each other all the time. So he said, okay. And I kind of admire him for that, being as obstinate as he can be and grumpy. And so that's how we ended it. And then shortly after that, I was done, went to California, right? So we're in California auditioning drummers at a little funky studio, me and Fred, for the new project for Blue by Nature.
Yep.
And this drummer goes, well, man, I gotta go. I gotta go see a friend of mine. He's playing with this guy Rick Dufay. And we go, what? Who? We're in California. Last place I expected to hear Rick's name. So we went there to this gig, and it's Rick playing with a badass band and an excellent drummer. And Fred and I told him, you know what? I'll take you and you and you, and we're forming a band. And I already got 20 minutes worth of new material. Do you want to do it? And he did. So we took his band, and then we changed people as time went on. And Rick and I never talked to each other snarky again, for many, many years anyway. That's the only way.
That's just, wow, like hearing that you guys had that kind of relationship back when he was starting out and stuff.
Long time ago.
Like you wouldn't have expected that you would have gotten together in the band.
It was years and years later. Yeah. A long freaking time later. Well, let's see. That was probably, if it was 1994 tour. And then I'm hanging around, and where had I been? I had been on that tour. Yeah. So I was living on 66th Street and 34th Street. Yeah. It was back in the day. Back in the early 80s, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then when I met him again, it was 1990, I guess.
Yep.
Maybe 92, because that's when we started to form up going back to the blues thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what are all those videos, the live videos of Blue by Nature on YouTube? Are those all from like the early 2000s?
90s.
Okay.
The gigs we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really good camera, and I used to film. And then a lot of times the ones I think that are being used was my nephew, Mike Rissy, is like a filmmaker, director, you know, and he lives in California. And so he would come and film us sometimes and put some of those things together. Oh yeah. And then, I think he did No Matter What I Do and Blue by Nature. I think Mike did those. And then the Five, where I'm like wearing the same outfit, you know, the same band, post Rick Dufay with Tommy
Right.
Moody. Those were all filmed at a little thing somebody put together, and all the blues bands around town at the time would come in and do a short set.
Oh.
It was filmed from I guess they had a couple of cameras, no audience, which much to my regret.
Yeah.
Because I was at that time really used to an audience, and these tunes, you know, I mean, it's nice to have an audience to, I don't know. I think I was tired that day, but it's so nice to have it, man.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have it. It's like I wanted to have a picture. This is stupid. You can edit this out. I wanted to have a picture of me taken naked, you know, discreetly naked back in the day, because my body was so awesome. And I almost did it, and I wish I had it. Because it's like, damn, is that true?
Yeah.
So having that Galaxy footage and the others and all those videos from that time, to me, is great. Really great. This band was, you know, I doubt if I'll ever have that again. Everybody was good. Rick was used to playing for big audiences, you know, like arena.
Right.
You know, he played with Aerosmith, you know that. And Fred and we booked good gigs. Fred having been a road manager for, you know, these gigs. I mean, you know, he knows how to book gigs. So we got a writer and stuff backstage, and, you know, totally professional tours we booked. Besides that, the songs were written completely out of here. You know, I mean, I would write these songs on the way home in tears, you know, I mean, yeah, they're mostly romantic things, but that's what I was doing at the time. And it was just a time of incredible creativity, and the whole band would just go with it. I used to bring them a song. Like I work at temp sometimes back in those days, 1987, 87 to whenever. I would have this day job, and I'd be walking around for my half hour at lunch. And of course, I'm writing a song. Of course, you know, just constantly writing songs. And we only had like 20 minutes worth of material. So if I wrote a song, we're going to do it. So I take them the song, and I'll never forget this one. What was it? What was the song? Been So Long. And I wrote it while I'm at lunch. And that day, we're playing in some really horrible place. I mean, there was nobody there, just a little small bar. And so that night we go to play in this little bar, and I go, well, I got this new song. Here's how it goes, right? And I used to cue them with my fingers, like one chord, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 1 chord, the 4, the 5.
Yeah.
The bridge. This is a B, and you know, Braille or whatever. This is a B. So that's the bridge. Hold it over my head. 1. Go to the bridge on 4. You know, I'm just turning around, cueing them like that, right? The 1 chord if it's an A minor. So we did this. It was a terrible, terrible train wreck. I mean, nobody's doing the right thing. Everybody's doing the wrong thing. Rick's looking at me like, God damn you. And everybody's like, huh, what do we do? But there's nobody there. So what does it matter, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's how that song started. And that song was like 11 minutes long on our live album. You know, that song turned into like an epic. It turned into like a best song over years. So that's what we would do. We'd have this raggedy little thing, and I give it to them. And frankly, I can't even play half the stuff anymore.
Oh,
because I'd write, you know, a little blues song, right? And then
yeah.
they take it and do this other side. Oh, okay, that's good. You do what you want. I just give it to the band. And except for Fun and Games. Fun and Games, I wrote the whole thing, arranged the whole thing, and we did the same thing on that one. The day I wrote that song, oh my God, I was really in the zone. And it was, I remember going into McDonald's to get French fries and a salad, which is what I would get. And I was in the middle of writing this song, sitting at Griffith Park, yeah, LA. And I was just sitting there with my pad, and, you know, I can write like without looking on the freeway, you know, just write like this. Just, yeah. And so I went into McDonald's, and I'm in this zone, like, don't lose it, but you got to eat. And the lady said, "Are you okay?" I must have looked like totally miserable. Anyway, so we did that song live. I mean, that night, and I'm calling out the chords. And again, terrible train wreck. I think we were at a Mexican restaurant or something. And that song is like turned into a total signature tune.
Yeah.
You know, but it sounded horrible when we first started, and we playing it in public. It's just audacity, you know. But that's what that band was. He would take something, he would steal my line. You know, I'd sing him a line, it would turn into something else, and we'd be exchanging chord. I really dial into the drummer when I'm singing, and everything to me had to be like genuine.
Yeah.
Like genuine every time, and that's what's so easy to do to me with blues tunes, with my own tunes. I can go back, or I can go and I can make it genuine every single time. And that I felt I couldn't do with some other stuff. With regular tunes,
Right.
I just can't get there again. You know, I'm just imitating myself. I'm just singing something. These have something else in them, you know. So that's not why I started doing blues again, but that's what that band was like. Like,
Mhm.
oh my God. I tell you what, there was one time, one of our songs called Right the Wrong just starts out like a little stable singer's tune. And then it goes into like double time, like gospel-y. And at the end of that song, my brains were just like blown out. And I go to the back of the room and just go, like, it was mind blowing for me. And I didn't care if the audience got that. Honestly, I never cared whether they liked one single tune. I don't care. They did. Happily for us, they liked everything. The audiences were very receptive. We had a really great lineup. I mean, look, you got Rick. My God, you know, you got a great drummer. You know, everybody's musical. Everybody's just going like this with the flow and just creating some song. Honestly, songs were like 20 minutes long. And everybody's just like, yeah. It was really fun. It was really fun. I think it's better than the way the live album came out, but I'm glad we made that. Anyway, yeah, did you ask me a question? Sorry.
I was going to say that it's really surprising considering the reviews, the positive reviews that Blue by Nature got, that you guys were never on a major record label, or were you guys like approached by stuff?
Yeah, I don't think you know, we didn't want to be for a while.
Okay.
There was, it was at the time where the reason Fred and I kind of came to this was because we had done the Rip and Tear album in 87, I think. And I only know the dates because that's what's on the back of the record. I can't remember, you know, they kind of blur. But then we're in some cover band, believe it or not. Ugh. It was interesting to me. It actually was. It was right around that era. And we were making money, and we were playing with two great players, a drummer and a guitarist, Jamie Browning, who actually produced our Hard Days album. So it was absolutely musically a pleasure. And I got to kind of play stuff like, I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed, but I was singing Missing Persons and Pat Benatar and Madonna. And it was kind of interesting for me. I really didn't mind.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we were also doing our own stuff. and trying to get it signed. And man, oh man, everything would be on the line. Everything was on the line. And you get that negative answer, and it just crushing. It
Right.
just, everything just, the whole floor just falls out. And it's just like, wow. So after a few of those, I just, yeah, I was burnt in a way,
Yeah.
right? So Fred and I were in Paris on a vacation. I think it was 1992, and we're they were looking in like things to do at night, and we saw a blues club in Paris, France. And we said, well, let's go see what a French blues band sounds like, because, you know, I'm familiar with European melodies, having been in the Russian bands. And, you know, I mean, I know what they do. There's going to be a funny little accordion part or a funny little somewhere in there. You can't fool me. And so we're going to go see this band. And we get to the club, and in the corner of this small club, it's a band from Elkhart, Indiana.
Oh.
And in fact, that town is like 20 minutes from the town Fred grew up in
Wow.
Indiana.
Yeah.
We thought that was hysterical. I mean, they make motorhomes in that town, Elkhart, Indiana. You might even have heard of it. Anyway, doesn't matter. They make Winnebagos.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys are from Elkhart. So they let me sit in with the only blues song I knew. You've probably heard me tell this story because I tell it a lot. The only blues song I knew was a song by Otis Rush called So Many Roads. And of course, the reason I know it, it's really simple. And it's really easy to learn those lyrics, because I don't have to work hard to remember those lyrics or the melody or anything. So I sang that, and I'm telling you, I ended up on the bar. I mean, it was, you know, like crawling around or something. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, those lyrics are, so many roads, so many trains to ride, since I lost my baby, can't be satisfied. And it just goes a mean old fireman, and it just turns into whatever you want it to turn into. There's so much emotion in it. So I had a really great time, and I think we were right in the club, and Fred and I went, why don't we do this? Let's just do this. This is so much more comfortable than all this trying to write a hit, trying to be the it girl, trying to second guess, trying to figure out what's going to happen next, which is what we were doing. We're just chasing this record deal. And, a lot of it's genuine. It's not very contrived, but we were making a hard effort. And then just started, boom, I just started writing it. Boom, 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 boom. So that's how we formed the band. And then we were trying out drummers, and we saw Rick. We had 20 minutes worth of material with our first gig.
Right.
And that's all we played, 20 minutes. And it really went over well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh man, come on. And when I was in high school, it was a blues band. We did other stuff, but I mean, I learned what the blues was when I was 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I loved. I didn't even know who they were. Muddy Waters, Sun House.
Yeah.
I mean, I was into it when I was a kid. Anyway, but so that's how we did that. And so when something we were talking about happened, I guess I was kind of burnt. I didn't want to didn't care. Oh yeah, about getting signed. Nah, we just didn't really want to go through that. It had to be fun. And we're doing blues. Nobody was doing blues then. Nobody. And we got a little bit of flack back then. I love this. We called them the Blues Police. They would say, oh, wow, they're from Los Angeles. They're not blues. Like, okay, I guess that's not what I'm feeling, right? Okay.
Yeah.
You go out there and do it. And so our audiences, we played like every night. We had great audiences. We had great fun. We went on little tours. We went to New York. We went to Texas often. We would come to Texas and base out of Dallas and stay for like two weeks or so, and go back out, go down to Shreveport, come back to Dallas, stay the night. So, I mean, we were really doing well. We were together like almost 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were having a great time, and we didn't feel the need for that, you know. And remember, that was in the days, no, you don't remember. But that was in the days when indie, you're doing it yourself.
Yeah.
That was the thing. So it felt good, you know, it felt comfortable, and I didn't really care. Oh yeah, and then the Blues Police. So nobody was signing that stuff back then. There may have been Alligator Records or Blind Pig up in San Francisco, I think. I don't know where Alligator's out of, but yeah, but we didn't really make an effort. Then we got signed to this little company that just had a guy that had some money to throw around, and he pressed a bunch of records.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to France to promote it, and we had a lot of nibbles for like some kind of big German companies and stuff like that. Don't really know what happened at the end of all that. Maybe it just didn't pan out or whatever.
Yeah.
So we made our own. We made our own stuff, and we had the freedom. And I don't know. I kind of think that Fred enjoyed just doing it ourselves.
Right.
I think that might have been a point of contention toward the end, that I would have liked to broaden the horizons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm into it. I mean, it's almost embarrassing, but I kind of quit for years because it hurt, you know. Then after the band broke up that time, oh God, it's like, I just need a break. I want to be the audience. I want to go drink beer. I want to talk slurry. I want to dance and make a fool of myself. I want to get kicked out. And I did all those things. And, you know, and Fred and I split up. So now it's double pain. So I think I tried to keep it going for a little bit, and I didn't have enough control of it. And, you know, so I was happy to let it go. But then I moved. I used to live in South Dakota, and I moved, and I got with some musicians just because, you know, you pretty much can't shut me up, you know, and if somebody's playing, you know, I like singing. You guys do any 1-4-5, you know, or I've got my own guitar and I just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got with these musicians and started doing some stuff, and it just made me feel like, maybe I'll give it another shot. So I don't know if they're hiring anybody, you know, any 30-year-olds, but but you know, I try to keep it happy, and I write so much now that it's really about that, you know. I don't care who hears it, although I do. I like people to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, there are more, oh yeah, and there are way more record companies now, and there are a million more blues artists now, and they're all doing what we were doing. Now it's got rock in it. It's all got rock in it. You know, we were accused of being too rock. Everybody's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Bonamassa, Walter Trout, you know, Tommy Castro, a million of them, a million. They're all doing it with the rock root, you know, those roots in there too. So I'm digging it. Hello, need a chick singer? No, I got my own little thing going. We'll see.
And this was kind of more just random, but when I was talking to Judy yesterday, we were talking about like vintage band shirts and stuff, and I asked her if she knew if there were ever any shirts that were made for 1994, and she said she didn't know, but I thought, like, were there ever any?
I'm trying to remember. I know we had Blue by Nature shirts. Yeah. If there is a 1994 shirt, it's probably folded up in my archives. I don't throw away anything. Okay. I have all my stuff. I got all my clothes I wore. I got boots I wore. I got all the promo stuff, you know. I got everything. Yeah. But I don't think there were 1994 shirts. There were buttons.
Right, yeah.
And I think you know that.
I've seen them.
I think, huh?
I've seen them, yeah.
Yeah, I have like quite a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
If you want one. Or two. Remember those things? Everybody wore buttons back then.
Right.
That was a promo thing. Yeah, I don't think there were any shirts made. I know we did Blue by Nature, and we did a imitation of, and I think there's only one of those left. But we did an imitation of how Cheap Trick used to go, cheap trick, and
Oh,
rhyme
that's
like,
cool. Yeah.
you know. So we did that with Blue by Nature like 3 times. Blue by Nature, Blue by Nature.
Yeah.
But
That's cool.
yeah, inspired by that. I mean, stolen idea. But who cares? I like it. I used to print one of mine. I had it that said normal on it.
So were like the outfits you wore for the 1994 covers, were those your own clothes?
Well, oh, for the covers? Yeah, they
Yeah.
were my own clothes, but of course they were, well, the first one I had the lavender outfit
Yep.
it's in the remake, right?
Hmm.
Redo or whatever you call it. Thing of 1994's first album. That lavender leather outfit was made for the album cover.
Okay.
And oh my God, I was on such a diet that, and I'd go for fittings, and they just keep pulling it in and pulling it in. I remember one time I was at the salon at the People's Place. They did Aerosmith's leather stuff too, if you've noticed the similarity. Anyway, so I was in there, and they had these huge mirrors, and I remember looking behind me and go, "Oh my God, who's that?" It was me from behind. I've never seen my ass. I was like, "What?" Anyway, yeah, for about 2 weeks, everybody looked at me going down the street. Everybody looked at me like, "Wow, I'm so thin."
Hmm.
Anyway, for 2 weeks, that was it. You can't stay this. You can't stay against for too long. Anyway, but I still have that outfit. That was supposed to be for the album cover, where we're walking at the fair with the globe, the fairgrounds. But for some reason, they changed it, and the clothes I was wearing were my own clothes, which were like I wore them all the time. Tuxedo pants and a man's fancy blue and black iridescent tuxedo jacket. That was just my clothes. And that's
Oh,
what they used.
yeah.
Whatever. But what was the other cut? Oh, the other album cover, the black. Oh God, that was another thing, man. The second 1994 album. Talk about pain. It was painful because that album cover was cut out like superimposed on the background, right?
Hmm.
And in those days, they didn't have the digital stuff, and they didn't do a very good job. I mean, I
Yeah.
can do a better job than that, but it's not ever good.
Hmm.
And you got a bowl head. They don't get the, it just looks unnatural. And I'll never forget when they showed us that album cover, and they got pissed at us because it cost like $5,000 or something. It's like, well, I didn't pay for it. I wouldn't have paid for that piece of work, So I like hated the cover, and my heart just sank.
Hmm.
And I was like, God dang it. First it's the LA Jets album cover, which gave me tons of trouble because
Yeah.
everybody thought it was me, and it wasn't. And they always thought it was me, and their eyes, even guys' eyes is going to look down at your
Hmm.
boobs anyway, your tits or whatever. But now they're really like looking like,
Yeah.
oh God, no, it is not me. Anyway, so there was that problem with that album cover. Then there was the first 1994 album cover where, we're this big, look, teeny tiny box. It was kind of cool. Nice packaging. And then the album cover, like, oh my God, there's so much cool stuff out there. This is what your department did.
Hmm.
Oh my God, give me $5,000 and I'll fix it. Give me $5 and I'll fix it. Give
Right.
me a pencil. Then take a picture of that. And anyway, so that was disappointing. Why did I bring that up? I don't know. Over the album covers. Yeah. So the closure, clothes
Yeah.
are bought. You buy something. This is what you're going to wear on stage. Oh, cool. I'll never say no.
Hmm.
Send me to the. Jeez. Sure. No, I don't want any new clothes specially made. No.
Hmm.
Of course I did.
Yeah. So I guess
A lot of them were bastards too. Oh my God. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. What?
so I guess I can ask, like, the last thing I can ask you is what do you want your legacy to be?
Tombstone to say? Yeah, I've planned out my tombstone. I don't know. Um, I don't know. It's kind of hard, you know. I feel like, I feel like it was real, even if people may not know that, you
Mhm.
know. It's real. And one interview I did within the last year or so, the guy mentioned that, do you know how many times you've said the word natural? I said, really? I haven't said it today, I'm like, just now. But that's kind of how I always approached things, you know.
Mhm.
It's not even approached it. It just was natural. And it just happened. And I really didn't have any drive. I didn't try to be in a band. They just kind of said, hey, you want to be in our band? And so it rolled that way.
Yeah.
Yes, if I had been more driven, perhaps I would have gone farther. I'm not done yet, but I remember too, in those days, their idea of what your personality is supposed to be, it's a man's world,
Yeah.
a business at that time, a lot. And I can't tell you how many times I was told that I should be like this way or that way. Like I should go into his office and say, Mr. Barkenfield, I'm going to be your next star.
Mhm.
I'm like, you're kidding, right? I'm
Yeah.
more of a musician. I'm just like you know, especially after really making big efforts, and it hurts so bad. I guess I'm just too, I like it to feel good,
Mhm.
be natural. So yeah, they could do this, not be flat, be natural. On my tombstone, the letter B, natural. That's a good idea. I'm gonna save that.
Okay.
Save that idea.
Um,
She tried. She didn't try. She didn't try hard enough. She just be natural. That's
yeah.
it. She just be natural. I love the grammar bit. Yeah, but I'm not done.
Mhm.
We'll see.
I just wanted to add to that. When I saw your when you did the new version, or well,
Prisoner, the
yeah,
prisoner piano thing.
yeah,
Play at home.
I showed that to my mom, like,
Yeah.
and that's just amazing because it's just you sound exactly the same.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Actually, I feel better. I feel better right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because over these years, I never stopped singing and I
Mhm.
never stopped writing. My book is like this. I mean, it's not bragging, it's just information. I'm like on page 120, and I think most of them are good.
Mhm.
That's really fun for me. But yeah, so I never quit, but I've had that technique, so I never lose it now.
Right.
It's pretty chipper. I enjoy it. I'm having more fun now after my break, because now I was like driven, like, oh no, 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 I want to do some stuff. And when I got with these musicians, you don't even have to put this stuff in there. But when I hooked up with these musicians, all of a sudden it's like, oh, now there's a language. There's a
Mhm.
language there that I hadn't spoken in a long time.
Yeah.
Well, I was in South Dakota, and there's not a lot of musicians there in my little tiny town. I lived in a tiny town. I was experiencing a small town. It was wonderful. Really, really just an experience that I enjoyed thoroughly. But there are no musicians. There are no musician speak, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, so when I came down here and started hooking up with these guys, and we're just jamming and playing, and wow, there's a language there I did not forget how to speak, and it feels really good. So I'm having fun making demos. I got 4 songs in the can right now.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
4 songs, and I'm gonna do like probably 4 more. I think I'm gonna make a little EP.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's it is. It is what it is. I hate that phrase. It means nothing. It's useless. I just am be natural, and be natural.
Mhm.
What was the line? She just is be natural. Is that it?
That you said, yeah.
Send me that clip. Text it. All right. I probably told you way more than you were interested in knowing, but you know,
Well, that's cool. I mean, no, it's cool. There's a lot of stuff that like nobody would have known about
there's
before,
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
especially the Cheap Trick thing.
Oh, what the song singing on this album?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's
for nothing. Yeah, for no credit. Yeah, I know that really pissed me off. You can hear me on there, big as life. It's
mhm.
easy to hear. Yeah.
I'll have to go
I
back
was
on.
going to tell you this one other thing. Oh, you know, the other weird thing is I'm still alive. No, I mean, literally,
Yeah.
you know, because, well, I'm not too famous to not talk to anybody, that's for sure.
Hmm.
And, you know, a lot of people are not alive. You
Right.
know, it just happened that I didn't go there. You know, my worst thing was smoking, and you know, now it might be drinking and carousing. No, just kidding. No, but you know, yeah, because I couldn't do any of those things. I was restricted from getting too, you know, crazy.
Right.
Maybe you miss out on things because you don't go crazy. You miss out on stuff. But I don't think I missed a lot.
Hmm.
I had some pretty terrible times that I, you know, wrote a song about it. Like to hear it? Here it goes. No.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, I survived.
Hmm. Well, I'll
So
be
that's
sure.
why there's such a long career. My God, we didn't even talk about, you know, when I was like 9 years old. I mean, add all that, that's like eons,
Yeah.
eons. Just, you know, I'm sorry I'm not Mick Jagger because he's got the same amount of time.
Hmm.
He's quite a bit older, but he's got the same amount of time, but he's got like way better stories. But anyway,
Well, I'll be sure to get this.
when I'm looking at you like this, am I looking at you? Does it look like I'm looking at you?
Yeah.
Does it look like I'm talking to the air?
Oh no.
Just for instance, yeah. So, what do you do with your stuff? What do you do with it? I did not see your show. I saw a smidgen of it
Oh,
when Judy sent it to me. I saw a smidgen. That's
yeah.
all.
I just put them up on my YouTube channel and then I share them on different like social media outlets or groups that I'm in
Okay.
for this kind of music.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you're in Minnesota?
Yep.
Where? I'll tell you where I'm from. We'll edit this part out. I'm going again. I'll be going up there on bands can be,
Hmm.
they can be really, really annoying. We used to keep our band in Blue by Nature on a retainer. We paid for that. I worked, Fred worked,
Yeah.
day jobs, and we kept the band on a retainer.
Mhm.
So they couldn't leave, they wouldn't leave. That's how we kept them. Isn't that terrible? Oh well, it worked. It was fun.
Yeah. Well,
So you didn't tell me where you live in, where you are in Minneapolis, just approximately. I mean, not in Minneapolis, you're in Minnesota.
I'm
Approximately.
that's
Huh?
I'm in that area. I'm by the cities.
Okay. Okay. I have my mother-in-law's sister lives in St. Paul, whatever. I have
Oh.
a cousin-in-law out there. I have never been to her house.
Oh. Okay.
And I've only driven to Minnesota, no, halfway once. Oh, I've
Oh.
driven from the airport to Redfield,
Yep.
but I haven't gone over that way. You know, why would we go that way, right? It all looks the same.
Right.
Fun motorcycle riding, though.
Mhm.
Great to ride motorcycles out there. Nobody
Yeah.
there. Nobody behind you, nobody in front of you. Beautiful, beautiful cows, you know.
Hmm.
So have you lived there all your life?
Yep.
Yeah. What's that, all 15 years? Or just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just,
I know people think I'm younger than I am all the time.
well, that's a good thing. It used to be my way too. I was always the baby, and now I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
True. I was always, you know, like the youngest one. Everybody made fun of me,
Hmm.
or whatever, you know. And now I'm the oldest one, and everybody makes fun of me.
Hmm. Well, you must have been probably like 20 when LA Jets got the album. Okay, yeah.
Technically, I was only 20, and no parent signed that contract. I should have sued their butts, but it doesn't
Oh.
matter. Yeah, because that's another thing. I got screwed out of my writer's royalties for that Prisoner song.
Oh, really? Oh,
I got screwed out of it. Yeah.
that sucks.
That's one of the biggest, worstest heartbreaks of the business that happened. And literally, I had to go to therapy. Me. I had to do a type of therapy years later, like in the 90s, to get over. I did a Tony Robbins weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of tricked into it, tricked into going to a seminar. I went with Fred because he had to go for business. And I knew who this Tony Robbins was. I'd seen him on TV, and I thought, oh, whatever. But I was like hating people, hating life, hating people. And just real negative. It's just not my way. And so writing a lot of songs about that, too, about those times and that guy that screwed me over. Anyway, so he tricked me, and he showed me the tickets, and I went, what? He calmed me down. I went, and I paid for the money to go to the weekend, and I got over it. And I'm glad I did. I needed it. That was a terrible thing. And then for years, I mean, that happened in the 70s, and here it was the 90s, and I was super bitter over it.
Right.
That's just no way to be, you know.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing. So I don't have time to be upset that Pat Benatar has got a record deal and has a great husband, guitar player. I don't have time for that other stuff. I got screwed right from the beginning.
Right.
You know, something that really, again, same reason. No means no.
Mhm.
Same reason. If I had said yes, you wouldn't have screwed me over like that.
Yeah, that sucks.
You believe that? That's just screwed. I mean, that's just messed up.
Mhm.
You know, kind of thing just makes you go, oh, please, let me just do something nice and easy.
Right.
All right, I'm sure I've taken up way too much of your time. It's going to take you like eons to edit this down into like.
Well, it's been fun.
Hey, you know what? You could edit it into little segments.
Usually-
There's another little bit. Right? Is that what you do?
Well, oh no, usually I just put the whole thing up after editing certain parts out, but yeah.
I think you should do bits. I think you could do with this long thing, you could do little bits, and then you play a song like, you know, a month later. Here's a little thing. Oh, I forgot all about this. Here's a song that they were talking about, and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody could put up with the whole thing. I'm serious. Unless you're a really major editor.
Well,
Editor.
yeah, I mean my some of the ones I've done with, because I interviewed Billy Steinberg twice, and that was
Okay.
that was like really long, and
Yeah.
people didn't seem to have a problem with it, so
Really?
yeah.
I guess they can turn it on and off when they want,
Right.
right? They can stop it and play it back. Okay. Yeah, I ain't hip to all that.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'll be sure to send it to Judy once I get it uploaded and
oh
everything.
my God. You know, I'm probably only going to watch a snippet of it.
Okay.
I hate listening to myself talk.
Oh.
I love to hear myself sing.
Yeah.
You know, I have no problem with that. I love it. Oh, wow, listen to that. Oh, listen to that. Turn it up. You know, I got no problem with that. Like some singers don't like to hear themselves sing, but I cannot stand to hear myself talk.
Okay.
Awful.
All right.
Awful. All right, but I'll listen to maybe in increments.
Okay.
And I thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'm glad that it finally got to happen.
I hope I didn't bore the hell out of you.
No.
All right.